All right, welcome back to Tucked In Wizards, guys. After a long off season, as always, my name is Aidan, and I'm here with my co-host Ben.
Welcome back, guys. I'm so excited to be back. It is year 2.5, I think, of Tucked In Wizards. So it's been a lot of fun doing it and just kind of being able to follow the Wizards really closely because I'm always thinking of stuff to talk about. So it's good to be back.
Yeah, it's been a blast. We had a long off season. We had a John Wall retirement video loaded up, but did not end up getting uploaded. So we'll probably talk about him a little bit to start out and then go into the 3 games that they've played so far. Right now it's halftime of the Philly game, so hopefully we can pull this one out. We're ahead, yep. Rare opportunity. But yeah, do you want to jump in and just talk about some John Wall a little bit?
Yeah, I'll talk about John Wall. I mean, like, how much does it really say? He's probably the best Wizards player since the 70s. We were talking about it a little earlier because I went to the home opener against the Hornets, which we'll talk about. They got blown up by 20, but it wasn't actually as bad as you would think. And it's funny seeing first of all, the jersey retirements, because hopefully one day Wall's jersey will be up there with them. But the division championships banner, where it's just the entire 70s and then 1 year in 2016, 2017. And I know, like, division titles, they don't really mean a lot in basketball, but still, being the one team to get that, or the one player, the one leader on the one team to get that since the 80s or in the 70s is honestly impressive enough to have his jersey retired to me.
Yeah, for sure. And just like what he means to DC as a whole, for a lot of Wizards fans, this is the best player they've ever seen play in their lifetime. And the impact he had on the city was so big. Obviously, there's some conflict with ownership right now, but I think he definitely deserves to have this jersey up there. And I don't think it's, that crazy that he, even if ownership issues stop it now, maybe when ownership rolls over, we see that happen someday. I think it's definitely well deserved.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, from like the Dougie when he was first introduced, he had the game winner against Boston, one of the biggest game winners in Wizards history, sadly to say. Behind the back, just his friendship with Beal on and off the court, just a lot of good stuff and one of the best times for Wizards fans. It's been kind of a dull, how long has it been? 30, 40 years? So
yeah.
John Wall was kind of one of those bright spots where we actually won a playoff series, and we actually won a few playoff series. So
yeah, coming up on 50 years since we last made the conference finals. So not looking good for us. But hey, I believe in this core, especially with what we've seen through these first 3 games. Just jumping right into it, the Bucks game, Chris Middleton's first game back in Milwaukee, it was very emotional. You could tell for the crowd and, for Chris Middleton himself. He talked about a little bit earlier how stunned he was getting traded away from a place he's been for so long and, raised a family in. But, really encouraging game for some of the young guys. We saw Chris Middleton on Giannis a lot. Cam Whitmore covered him off the bench, which was cool to see. And, just overall, I was kind of not impressed, but I was happy to see the defensive kind of intensity up a little bit from what we've seen the past couple years.
Oh my God, it was so nice.
Yeah. But yeah, do you want to talk about the game a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, that first quarter, it was a very oh shit, we're back in the season first quarter. They got outscored 40-23, but they actually beat the Bucks the rest of the way. They just couldn't obviously recover from their horrible first quarter. But that's what I like to see. They came out the gate slow and messed up. But, it's Trey Johnson. It's his first game ever.
Mm-hmm.
Fantastic performance, 16 points. I saw a stat that he scored more in this game than Johnny Davis did in his rookie year until February. So we're positive signs there. In terms of the other new players, Cam Whitmore was pretty good in this game. Keyshawn George we'll talk about as possibly the next franchise player. I don't know. He's certainly been very good in these first couple of games at pretty much everything. He's passing well. He's rebounding the ball. He's taking it strong to the rim. He's drawing fouls. So he's doing a lot of good things for the Wizards. And then, like you talked about, Chris Middleton guarding Giannis most of the time and actually doing a pretty good job in those minutes. So all around, besides the first quarter, it was a fun game to watch. And I think it's kind of what we'll see from the Wizards going forward. I think they'll be a lot better than people expect, actually.
I think so, too. I've been seeing people saying, we're going to win, 7 games, 12 games. That's crazy. I think we can maybe get to 20 this year. We were at, 18 last year. And this team is definitely better, in my opinion.
Yeah,
Especially just getting
so
rid
far
of
we've
Kyle
been in
Kuzma.
every game.
Yeah, we've been in every game, which is a welcome change. I want to save a lot of my Keyshawn George talk for the Dallas game, of course. But I was really impressed with what he had here. To me, this was like a quintessential like star quiet quote unquote game where they suddenly have like 20 points. You're like, what the fuck happened? But he just really hit the shots that he needed to. He 50% from 3, which is exactly obviously where you want to see. And you mentioned it. I really just want to shout out Trey Johnson and say how nice it is to have a rookie where I'm not worried about his offensive performance that night.
Oh
like
my God,
Sarr,
it
I
was
Like,
incredible.
him, if he's open, he's making it, and it's really nice to have that change.
His shot is one of the best shots I've seen in the NBA in a while, and I think that's saying something. It's just like every time he puts it up, it looks like it's going in. And his shot selection obviously hasn't been the best. He's a rookie over the first 3 games, especially in that Hornets game.
Yeah.
But for the most part, he looks like, and I'll give Keith a little bit of credit, even though I'm not out on him entirely, but I'm not in on him either. I will give him credit in getting Trey Johnson touches where he needs to be. We're not putting this guy in one-on-one situations. We're bringing him off screens. And yeah, there's a few one-on-one situations where he just kind of has to make something happen. But we are trying to get him catch and shoot, and I think that's his game. That's what he'll excel at.
We're using him kind of like how we used Denny Avdia's rookie year, which for Denny Avdia is a terrible choice, but for Trey Johnson, it's great. Works amazing.
Yeah. Just Scott Brooks things.
Yeah. I don't really have too much of an opinion on Keefe. I think he's just kind of a developmental coach. He's just going to play the young guys a bunch of minutes and call time. His timeouts have been good. It's kind of all I expect.
Except
from
his timeouts in the Hornets game were horrible. He called
yeah?
a couple timeouts when Cam Whitmore was like downhill about to score.
Ooh.
So that was a little rough there. But for the most part, yeah.
When we get to the Hornets game, that's going to be mostly Ben talking about it. I missed that one, but Ben was there in person.
I was there.
So he's got a lot to talk about. But before that, we got to talk about the Dallas game. First one of the season, 2 games in. Very good to see. Love to see that we're not going to start 0-10
Dallas
or
stinks.
whatever. And Dallas is awful. I'm out completely on Dallas for the whole year.
Dallas stinks. Cooper Flagg was not great in this game. I know he finished with 18 points, but he turned the ball over a lot. We talked after PJ Washington had 8 turnovers. I don't remember a single one of PJ Washington's turnovers, and I watched the entire game.
Yep.
So that was just like, I was very surprised when I saw that on the stat sheet. But should I read out this Keyshawn stat line? Because what a game. 34 points, 11 rebounds, 4 assists, 2 steals, 3 blocks. Did have 5 fouls, but 11 for 15 from the field. He was just dominating the defense first Mavericks. And it was just amazing. That's when I was like, wait, does this guy have like a chance to actually be like a franchise guy?
Yeah.
But because he has the size.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. He's got the size, the defense is already there. And what was most encouraging to me about this game was the coaching staff clearly made the decision, we need to get the ball in his hands more. We need more reps, not just catch and shoot, but like going downhill with the ball, finding guys, learning how to pass. And I thought he did a great job at all of that, especially compared to on the other side, obviously a year younger, but Cooper Flagg, a guy who was touted as he can play any position. His defense is amazing, and it was good. But the offense just wasn't there, and he could not handle the ball at all. He did not look comfortable, and we were just kind of poking his hands every time he got the ball, and he just could not keep it. Whereas Keyshawn, on the other hand, he's around that size too, but he was able to keep it under control and keep it away from defenders and found open guys a lot of the time. So
they actually
showed
had
me
the
that
same amount of
versatile skill
turnovers.
set.
But Cooper's turnovers were way more noticeable because they were late in the game when it really mattered. So a little different. But I do want to talk about Bub Carrington for a second because you reminded me of that when you were talking about Cooper. Because Bub had the Cooper assignment for a lot of this because, Cooper was a point guard and Bub was on his guy. And I was kind of thinking, because Bub's offense was not here this game. He was 1 for 7. It wasn't there next game either. Is it here this game? I don't think so.
No, he had a good game.
It's all right. He's got a 3. Alex Sarr, by the way, 20 at the half versus Philly. So
he's been really good. I've been really happy.
And that's Embiid guarding him, who has 18. So
that might be like, oh well, he has Embiid guarding him. Of course he's got 20. I don't know if that dude can move his knees anymore.
Oh yeah, it might be rough for him. But this isn't a Sixers podcast. What was I gonna say before? Oh yeah, I think he's got like a little Marcus Smart-ish energy to him, where I feel like that's the type of player we're gonna see. Where he's probably not gonna be the most consistent offensively, but damn, he's gonna be annoying as hell. And that's like what the Wizards need. They need a guy like that, especially at guard. So I'm pretty happy with his development so far, even if it's not the best stuff.
I'm happy too. I'm glad he's taking the shots that are given to him. He's not becoming super passive and not refusing to shoot the ball and whatever. I think his passing could be better, but I think his defense, like you were saying, is a really shining point where I didn't think last year that was going to be a part of his game that I was going to be really complimenting like that. But I was very impressed with just like how, like you said, he's pesky with his hands. He's always in there. He's like really just making the lead guard uncomfortable, which I think is really what you're looking to do as a guard defender. And I've been super impressed. I really did not see this coming.
Yeah, and he's not going to be Lou Dort or Alex Caruso or like those guys by any means. Like, he's not the guy who you're like, this guy's going to guard the best guard. He's going to just completely shut him down. It's more like, hey, he's just going to like poke the ball a bunch and like just not really, like you said, he's not going to let the other guard be comfortable. Yeah. And that's where he needs to go.
As we were talking, Sarr scoring over Embiid, so maybe he can't move anymore. But yeah, I just to wrap up my thoughts about this game. Obviously, I was happy with the win because it's the Wizards. They never win. But even more, they kept their lead for such a significant amount of time. And even at times, there were times where, 5 minutes left, I think Dallas got it within 7 or 5. And I started getting worried because that's, the recipe for a Wizards collapse.
Which we'll see in the next game.
Yeah, we will see. But they were able to hold on and persevere through the end, where that's something where I felt like last year late game energy was a little low. And that's where I think guys like CJ and Chris can help, because they just help everyone stay focused and centered, and maybe people were giving too much early on or not saving enough for the end or whatever was going on. And I think it's also something I've seen more out of Sarr this year. I haven't seen a lot of people talking about him. He hasn't had a lot of flashy performances, but he's just looked way more conditioned and ready to stay on the floor.
That's what I was going to say. The conditioning for Sarr has been so much better, and he looks a lot stronger too.
Yeah.
Where like last year he was getting moved out of the way a lot. You're seeing that a lot less this year. He's actually like boxing out okay, which was a big concern last year. And he's just like, he just looks stronger. Yeah. And if he wants to be a starting center in this league, which I really think that Sarr will be the franchise center going forward.
I agree.
The 3-ball is coming around. Yeah, he's not amazing at it, but it's like good enough where you have to respect it. And that's just going to even get better with time. Like, his shot mechanics don't look that bad. So I think they found their franchise center, which one of the most important pieces to a team.
I totally agree. And a lot of the things that we were kind of criticizing him for last year, I think mutually, like you were saying not boxing out, not getting his rebounds. I think a lot of that stuff has been cleaned up this year. He's playing in the post a lot more. He's taking threes if they give it to him, clearly, because he can.
He's not forcing it.
Exactly, he's not forcing him. And I think that's where a guy like Trey helps out. Like, he's got another option to just dump and be confident in.
Some more spacing.
Yeah, and having a guy like Keyshawn around, I think, really helps as well, because he can trust him on the perimeter and interior because his size. And he has.
Because Keyshawn's another good rebounder.
Yeah, exactly. And just I like overall the general scheme of how I'm seeing our defense come together. It's very cohesive. There's a lot of stuff covered. Obviously, since we have some OKC guys, it is a little reminiscent of the OKC style, which is not bad. Just like constant rotation and constantly like making sure everybody on the floor can guard any other person. And that's where I think having a guard like Bub will be pretty helpful, where we can confidently have him on the floor and not have him constantly get targeted because his defense sucks. Which we can see is Yeah, ooh. It is the Achilles heel of even the best teams. Like, I think that's a big reason Dallas lost in the finals to the Celtics. Luka couldn't defend anything. They constantly exploited that. And that's like a big game plan for a lot of major teams nowadays. So being able to avoid that is going to be pretty huge, I think. Obviously, I'm looking a few years down the road when we're competing against those teams.
Yeah,
Not now when we're competing against Toronto and
Charlotte.
And Charlotte.
Although Charlotte, who knows? Charlotte might actually be pretty good this year. We'll see. The East, we'll talk about, I'm sure, our predictions for the season, just in general for the Wizards and everyone. The East is pretty bad, and we'll kind of see that. But we can talk about the Hornets game a little bit now. Enough Keyshawn Glaze. He was horrible this game. It was not good. He fouled out, 8 rebounds. I mean, horrible in the sense, like, he was a minus 22. All the other starters weren't even a minus 10. 6 fouls. I mean, he did crash the glass, but he only had how many points did he have? Where's his points? He only had 6 points. That's what I thought he had.
Comparatively,
6 points, 8 rebounds, 5 assists. It's just not a great game for him against the Hornets. But as a team, the first half looked very promising against the Hornets. It was LaMelo versus the world. LaMelo had pretty much every single one of the Hornets' points in that first half. And the Wizards' defense was doing a really good job stopping them, not letting them get open looks, not letting them get to the rim. And it was just kind of LaMelo having to do everything. LaMelo's a really, really good basketball player, as you guys know. And in the second half, we got a few laxed off. Con Knipple started to get it going a little bit. And by the fourth quarter, Charlotte just couldn't miss from 3. And it was like one of those games where it's like, yeah, was it winnable? Yeah, but also Charlotte just, I don't know the exact stats in the second half. They shot 40% for the game from 3, and that was with a putrid first half. So you could do the math there. It was just like the other team just got hot. There's really nothing you could do when that happens.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't watch the game, but I saw LaMelo's stat line. Obviously, he had a huge fantasy game. So it just seemed like one of those games where it's like, they have a superstar, and we don't. And it's like, that's too bad, but that's kind of the situation we're at right now.
And again, they just got hot.
yeah, that too. Like, you can't really control that, and that's kind of what's happening right now against Philly. Is the Wizards are hot and just staying ahead. But I think it's funny to still be like, Charlotte should be way ahead of the rebuild if you think about it, with LaMelo and just like.
And I think they will. I say this every year, but this is the year where they're actually good.
I don't know. We'll see. I'm still not too much of a believer.
They're down to Miami right now.
I think LaMelo needs to kind of show me that he can do it every night instead of some nights. Like, obviously this is a big comparison, but you look at a guy like Steph Curry. At this point in his career, he is not as consistent as he used to be, but he can still pretty much do it every night. Where a guy like LaMelo is still kind of up in the air for that with me. But this could be his year to prove it. He's still young. It's not me writing him off at all. I don't think the Hornets are going to be that good, but I could see them sneaking into the play-in, possibly. We'll see. East is crazy. Anything can happen this year.
Yeah, we will see. That's been the kind of the Wizards. Do you want to talk about the new players? We haven't really talked about a lot of the new players yet coming into the Wizards. Obviously, we talked about Sar, Bub, and Keyshawn, our 2024 draft class. We talked a little bit about Trey Johnson. We haven't really talked about Will Riley a little bit that much. He hasn't really gotten that many minutes so far. No. And when he has, he's kind of just been a catch-and-shoot guy. Definitely a project, but one that will hopefully kind of develop into maybe nothing crazy, but, a guy a good role player, I think should be the host for Will Riley if he got a bigger frame and is able to consistently knock down those threes and make the right plays. Because in the games he was hitting the threes, he was definitely doing okay, but he was definitely targeted a little bit on defense, and he didn't have the best awareness with the ball, is what I've noticed. So if he cleans those things up, he should be a solid to okay role player, which is what you'd expect from a pick that late in the draft.
Yeah, he looked all right. I didn't expect that much out of him. So, his defense was fine. Hit some shots. If he could be a role player, that's the good outcome. And I wouldn't be that upset if he's out of the league in like 4 years. I'm not that attached to him, really.
Yeah. Not yet. Jameer Watkins, I actually have higher hopes for just because of his defensive potential. He also hasn't gotten money minutes.
Yeah, he's a dog on defense. Has he played really at all?
Nah, he's only played garbage time.
Yeah. Another guy we haven't mentioned at all, I don't think, that I want to shout out is Tristan Vukcevic.
Oh yeah, he's been pretty good.
He's been pretty decent. He hasn't played a lot, and like he's been kind of underwhelming when he's played. He had a good game relatively against Charlotte, considering his other games. But he just hasn't really gotten that much play time. But I think he's an intriguing guy to keep an eye on later in the season when we start giving kind of the deeper part of our roster some play. And I wouldn't be too surprised to see him start backing up Sarb instead of Marvin Bagley, but we'll see. It all depends on how he develops.
Can't believe Bagley is back. That's one of the funniest. They traded him and Johnny Davis to the Grizzlies, right, for a couple seconds, and then obviously Johnny Davis not in the league anymore, or he's in the G League anyway.
Yeah, I think he's with the Bucks.
And Marvin Bagley is back on the team, so nice little rental for the Grizzlies. I think Marvin Bagley had a couple good playoff games, if I remember, or play-in games, whatever the Grizzlies made. But he's back. It's a little silly. Other new players. CJ McCollum really hasn't been that good. He's doing a lot better today, and he was good against the Hornets. Just kind of Jordan Poole, but old. He's fine. I think he's a good veteran presence, and that's what the Wizards need. So I'm happy that he's on the roster right now, I would say.
Yeah, I've liked how both him and Chris Middleton have talked with the young players a lot. You see them pulling guys over a lot. I've seen CJ talk with Sarr about places where he should be expecting the ball and times where he needs to be ready to catch it, that kind of thing. But overall, they're vets. They're doing what they're supposed to do. They're taking 8-9 shots a game, not really forcing things. Sometimes CJ will take some stupid 3 or something, but that comes with the territory. I'm pretty happy with how they've been doing so far.
Yeah, so far, ups for the Wizards. Wizards are on a little bit of a roll, I'm going to be honest. Obviously, they're crushing the Sixers right now. The score is 95-76. But, we'll see how the season goes. I mean, obviously, we have that top 8 protected pick where, you probably don't want to be in the play-in, if I would guess. But at the same time, if we are pushing that 7-8 seed at this point with the young guys, I don't think I'd be too unhappy with that. It's just, you really want to avoid that 11-12 spot, I would say.
This is a pretty stacked draft with the 3-way college race we're seeing right now with all this top 3 prospects putting up insane stats. So I would love to get a top 3 pick this year, obviously. I do think if we're significantly better than people expect come All-Star break, we're going to start seeing some nasty lineups coming out of Keith.
Yeah, we already saw some nasty lineups against the Hornets. I think I texted you. It was Bub Carrington, CJ, Kispert, Cam Whitmore, or Kispert, Trey Johnson, and Vukcevic. I was what are we doing? But
yeah, we're going to see some pretty blatant tanking, but I don't think we're going to be that much better than people think. I definitely don't think we're going to be outside of the top 8. I could maybe see an 11 seed or something, but I think we'll get 20 to 23 wins somewhere in there. I think we'll be a little better than last year. Shit, that could be an 11
seed.
Yeah, shit, that could be an 11 seed in the East. But I think the big thing this year is I think we're going to start seeing some real foundational building blocks for the future, which makes me excited. Because already in these 3 games, I've seen some plays where I'm okay, I could see this play being a core part going forwards for the next 6-7 years.
Yeah. Okay. We're not doing that. What was I going to say? Oh yeah. To build on that, all the the new players, the rookies, the second-year guys, they've all showed me enough to this point where I'm besides Will Riley and Jameer Watkins who haven't really gotten much play, but the main guys have all showed me enough for where I think all 4 of these guys are going to be really solid players in the NBA.
Yeah.
Hopefully for the Wizards, but even if not for the Wizards, just in the NBA in general. And I think that's, it's a good sign. It's a good sign for development. It's a good sign for the Wizards. And we're still obviously looking for that franchise guy. Could it be Keyshawn George? Could it be, I'm going to guess probably not. Sorry. Seems more of the Jaren Jackson type player, Rudy Gobert type player. not like the go-to scorer, but hopefully we can get that guy and then really take off from there.
Yeah. I mean, we are the Wizards. Just looking back, before they took over, prior to Bilal Coulibaly, Rui he's good. He's sticking around for a while. Denny's going to stick around for a while, definitely.
Denny looks really good.
Besides that, Kisper, not that confident in. Johnny Davis is already gone. It's just like the record was not there. So to have I will confidently say all 5 of our first-round draft picks for the past couple years, in my eyes, having kind of consistent careers for all of them, and like I can see a path to being a good role player for all of them, where I couldn't really see that for a lot of these prior Wizards picks after the first year. Definitely makes me hopeful.
And Keyshawn and Alex,
our talent evaluation.
Keyshawn and Alex, you might even be able to see some all-star potential out of these guys. So.
Yeah, and I don't want to write Bilal off yet. Everyone's writing Bilal off.
Oh, I completely forgot about
bad
him.
End of the season. He's starting the season injured, but
yet.
I think Bilal's going to have a really big season this year.
Yeah, we haven't even talked about him at all. Yeah, he's another guy that you just plug in and he's going to guard the best player on defense. Another guy that will really help in this game, as it looks like the Phillies coming back a little bit. But
yeah,
that's pretty much everything we have on the Wizards. Do you want to talk about the season as a whole to start? I mean, we kind of are just getting into it. We should do like maybe 2 jumps and 2 declines from each conference in terms of teams.
Yeah, I like that. So in the East, obviously it's been kind of weird. We're only 3 games in. Currently, the Chicago Bulls and the 76ers are at the top. Don't think that's going to be lasting that long. But maybe I'm wrong. But one team that I kind of want to pump up in the East has been, so far to start the season, I thought the Cleveland Cavaliers have looked really good. Obviously, they're still missing Darius Garland, I think, but they even so, I think they've started the season strong. Jared Allen looks pretty good. He's always kind of solid in that center position, and you're just kind of getting everything you'd expect out of this team. But when you get that, they are one of the best teams in the NBA. So I've been pretty impressed. They're 3-1. I don't remember what team they lost to, but they've had some pretty big wins.
Miami, maybe? I think they got blown up.
Miami's been pretty good. They lost to the Knicks for the first game of the season.
Oh, the Knicks, right.
The season opener. The Knicks really impressed me in that game, but they haven't been that good since. But they always kind of play down the competition. But the Cavs had a pretty big winning against both the Pistons and the Bucks, who are 2 pretty good teams in this Eastern Conference. So I think they're going to have a pretty good season. I've been pretty happy with how they've been doing to start. And then I'll give my other up, and then do you want to go, and then we'll swap losses or downs on the East.
Yeah.
I don't know. There hasn't been. I kind of want to give it up to the Raptors, even though they're 1-3. I've been kind of impressed with how they've been playing, even though they're not, that good of record wise. I thought Scotty's been pretty strong. I think a lot of their young guys. I think RJ's been pretty consistent, which is one of the things that RJ's had trouble with. And then obviously Ingram's always going to be Ingram. Jakob Poeltl is always going to be kind of consistent. I still don't really see how he fits into this team, really. But he's kind of a weird player. It's hard to fit him in.
He's there. That's for sure.
Yeah, he's definitely there. He's one of those players where he can kind of fit anywhere, but he doesn't really belong anywhere, it seems like. So I don't think he's going to be on that team long term. I don't really know what they're trying to do long term, but I've been pretty impressed with how they've been playing to start for sure.
Yeah, they've been, despite 1-3, and again, the East is so bad. I mean, we're looking at the Wizards are 9th with 1 win. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 teams with 1 win or less in the East, compared to 5 in the West. So obviously, kind of to be expected. My ups in the East so far, and I'm gonna kind of look at the season as a whole, and not just these first 4 games, of course, is who I think is going to improve. Obviously, the Sixers, fantastic start to the season, and VJ Edgecombe looking already like he's going to be a big Rookie of the Year contender. Which, if you remember our draft content, I think I did say he was going to be one of the best players in the draft. So hire me for a scouting job, someone. But will they keep it up long term? It's going to really rely on Embiid's health. And if I'm relying on Embiid's health, I don't know. He's also not really even playing that well while healthy. So we'll see about that. But my actual 2 ups are going to be Detroit. who's playing very well despite losing a lot of players. Duncan Robinson has kind of fit right in. Cade hasn't had the best games, but they're still finding ways to win. I know they're 2-2 right now, but I think we'll see a little bit of a better second half, especially when, Jaden Ivey comes back. And then Miami has been really impressive. It's like the classic Eric Spoelstra thing where it's like Norm Powell's our best player. We should be a 14 seed, but somehow they're winning. I mean, they're getting a lot of contributions from Simone Fontecchio, Nikola Jovic, Jaime Jaquez is having a good season so far, and they're not even Kasparis Yakuhonis he hasn't even played yet. So we'll see how the rookie. Obviously, they have some crime stuff going on with Terry Rozier. We haven't really talked about all the mafia things and everything around gambling in the NBA, but besides that, the Heat have looked really good. So I'm going to go with my two ups, Miami and Detroit.
Yeah, I think those are good picks. I like what Detroit's been doing so far. Tobias Harris has looked way more consistent than he did last year with them, which I think is kind of, these guys, it's an important aspect of having these vets when you have guys that need to step out that can take on a bigger role. And I've been impressed with Miami as well. I haven't really watched that many of their games, but they were close with Orlando to start, and then they've just been tearing away ever since then. Against good teams too. It's not like they've been beating the Nets or anything. So I've been pretty impressed with those two as well. But now it's time to talk about the losers in the East.
There's a lot of
losers is going to be, obviously, to me, the Brooklyn Nets. That team is it's awful. It's putrid. The one bright spot, I guess, is that Michael Porter Jr. has been looking pretty good. There were kind of some questions if he could handle the increased role coming from Denver. And I think he's showing. He's always been a good player, but I think he's showing, especially just when he can stay on the court and stay healthy. He's really good. He's gotten some more opportunities to handle the ball, which I think is good for him. I've not been impressed by any of the rookies. They've all looked awful. Cam Thomas had a 40-point game with 0 assists. Classic Cam Thomas. He's been fine, but it's Cam Thomas. We kind of see what happens when the pure scorers that do nothing else go to good teams with Simons and the Celtics right now. It's not going well. Simons is not able to adapt to a play style that isn't have the ball in my hands at all the time and shoot it whenever. And it's just there's no hope for me with the Brooklyn Nets because they can't even rebuild because they are still feeling the fallout of the big three in Brooklyn, and how spectacularly that fell apart. They were not able to really replenish the treasure.
What's that meme about 2 nickels?
Yeah, exactly.
How'd it happen twice in Brooklyn? What is going on?
And then my other down, I don't know, I didn't have that high expectations for the East this year, so I'm not that surprised by a lot of the stuff that's happening. The Celtics losing a bunch of games early isn't surprising me at all. I guess it would be the Atlanta Hawks, the other loser for me. I thought they would be more consistent than they are this year, and it's not like they've been, holding their own against the good teams and, barely losing or whatever. They've been pretty solidly getting blown out. It was a close game. Their first game, close game they won against the Magic. But then you see kind of getting blown out by the Raptors, getting close game but losing to the Bulls, getting blown out by the Thunder. No shame against the Thunder. But they're kind of, a lot of these games I thought they could hang in. They're kind of losing a lot.
Tomorrow against the Nets.
Yeah, true. I mean, they should win that. Should. Porzingis has looked decent, but I haven't really seen a leap out of Jalen Johnson that much. And it's just Okonkwo actually has looked really, really good. But it's just, I don't know. Every year the Hawks, I kind of have not high expectations, but I always think they're going to be better than they are, and then they're just kind of mid. And this year they don't even seem very mid. Just kind of seem bad.
Yeah, the one thing I was weird about the Hawks, and I've seen Hawks fans talk about this, is Trae Young has not really had the ball in his hands as much as he usually does.
Yeah, it is weird.
And that's something that needs to change because he's the guy for Atlanta. He's leading the offense. He needs the ball in his hands.
Yeah, he's Trae Young.
So hopefully he'll get the ball in his hands a little bit more or go to a team that will give him the ball, because obviously one of the best players in the NBA. For my downs, I could say Boston and Indiana, but the injuries have stacked up over there. It's hard to really pinpoint those two as like, oh yeah, they're going to be bottom because of this. So I'll kind of combine them and say those are two of my downs for the year, which I think to be expected by most people. Yeah. The other team I was surprised had such a bad start was the Orlando Magic. 1-3 start. Desmond Bane hasn't helped the spacing as much as you would hope, but I do think they will turn it around. Obviously, they hang their hat on the defensive end. Haven't really seen that much this year. I know people were talking about Desmond Bane and if he's really a good fit with Orlando, but it's only 4 games in, just a rough start. We'll see if they can turn around. But the rest of the East, I mean, besides like, it's weirdly flipped. Like the Celtics, Pacers, and Magic are all at the bottom, and the Hornets, Heat, and Bulls are all at the top. But it's like, what is going on?
Yeah. I mean, we're so early on. A lot of this stuff is gonna kind of filter out over time. I do think the bottom is going to kind of stay that way. Celtics, Pacers, Nets. I wouldn't be that surprised to see the Pacers or Celtics a step below the Wizards this year. I know that sounds crazy to say, but maybe the Celtics, they still have Jaylen Brown, but it's just, I don't know. Neither of the teams have. No. And losing, they basically lost Drew and Porzingis for free. They got Simons for Drew, and that hasn't really looked like it's panning out that well. And then just missing Tatum, they're going to be losing, obviously, a significant amount of games with that much payroll tied up. And they just don't have a center. That's like, who's the center for the Celtics?
Nimiasquita, baby.
That's not good. You don't want that. Alex Sarr scoring 40 on that all day. But I have been surprised by the Magic as well. I think they've kind of haven't been able to figure out really how to have their offense flow how they want, and I think a big part of that has been Paolo. His shot selection has looked really iffy this year. He obviously had that rough game winner attempt where I don't really know, nobody knows why he took it. It was like 35 feet out in the middle of 3 people, and it was like super off, very weird. But I think the potential's still there for sure, and like you said, the defense is still there. I think we'll see them turn it around for sure. But moving into the West,
you want to go quickly for these two because I know we're getting a lot of time here.
Sure. Yeah. I'll go pretty quick. My 2 winners, obviously, San Antonio Spurs coming out on top of that one.
Oh my God, 4-0.
Wemby 4-0. Wemby's here. Wemby looks like how we expected Wemby to look in year
MVP
5.
Conversations.
Yeah. It's legitimately insane, the stuff he's doing out there. Clearly he used his offseason well. I saw him learning with all kinds of players, including Hakeem, including shooters. Like I saw him with KG. He was with everybody, and you can see his game has really taken a step up. And then I also wanted to shout out the Portland Trailblazers. I really thought that they were going to be awful, and they've shown they've been a lot better than I thought. They've shown a tenacity. I think Anthony Edwards gave them a compliment where he was like, every time you come to Portland, you can't take nights off, which I thought was kind of funny because they've been kind of shitty for a while.
Yeah, since Dame. But now hopefully, when Dame comes back, they might be pretty good.
Yeah.
Get Drew's over there now. They got a lot of guards over in Portland.
Yeah, they do. They have like 12 guards.
My ups real quick. Obviously, the Spurs. I mean, it just huge leap already. And, I mean, we're looking at probably what's going to be one of the better teams in the NBA. I put them at 6 in my predictions. I think they will get in that top 6. Obviously, the West will always be so close.
Yeah.
But the Spurs are there. I want to shout out the Jazz. They're 2-1 right now. That's not going to stand, obviously. No. But they've actually played pretty well in their game so far. But my other up has actually been the Lakers, which kind of surprising because, they've been missing LeBron. And now they're going to be missing Luka for a while. But Austin Reeves out of nowhere, 50-point game, and now a 41-point game. The Lakers just look like they actually might be good. So we'll see if they can continue that in the West. I don't think they'll be a championship contender or anything, but I think they'll be a little bit better than I probably expected before the season started.
For sure. And along with Austin Reeves, I kind of want to shout out Dominating over there.
He
had a game the other night where it was like 20-10 or something. He's kind of showing that when he's put more in this traditional role with a traditional point guard that can get him the ball, he can do his thing. And I think a lot of that has been Austin Reeves. He's been playing so well to start.
Awesome, yeah.
But then quickly moving into my losers, obviously the Dallas Mavericks are at the top of my list. They are fucking terrible. I know they're missing Kyrie. They still look awful. Kyrie is not fixing this. The defense is terrible. The offense is
Signing D'Lo to have
shaky.
a point guard and then not playing him just says everything you need to know.
I mean, going further back, trading Luka Doncic, and then saying we have a point guard problem or a point guard deficiency, or whatever the fuck Nico said.
It's like the
recently.
Cowboys trading Micah Parsons and then being like, man, we don't have any edge rushers. It's like, yeah, man.
Yeah.
No way.
And I don't think people were expecting.
Shit, they're both Dallas. That's crazy.
But I think they've been way worse than people were expecting, including me. And to do all this when AD is healthy, that's not good. You got to be winning these AD games, because who knows how long he's going to be sticking around. But yeah, those are my. Oh no, sorry, I didn't get my other one. My second loser is going to be the Houston Rockets. We watched the first game.
Missing Fred VanVleet is so bad for them.
Yeah, they're really missing Fred VanVleet. They started him in for the first game of the season at point guard, and that was terrible. That did not work. They don't have a single person that can handle the ball, it feels like, and it feels like the only person that can score is Kevin Durant. Which is like, and Şengün too. Clearly that's what you got Kevin Durant in here for, but it hasn't been the start I expected when you get Kevin Durant in the offseason, you know. You expect you go on a big run, and your offense looks way better because when you have problems, you can just dump it to KD, but I haven't been seeing a lot of that. It's I don't know, I have not been impressed with the Rockets to start.
No, I haven't either. And the lack of point guard is really hurting these teams.
Yeah.
For my losers this year, I'm going to go with the Pelicans. I mean, they make that trade. They trade away that first-round pick. I don't believe it was theirs. I believe it might have been Milwaukee's. I could be wrong on that, to Atlanta. And then you start 0-3. Obviously, I haven't watched too many of their games. Jeremiah Fears has actually been better than you would think based on his preseason numbers. So great actually signed for them. How has Derek Queen been? That's what I'm interested in, because obviously that's who they traded for. He's been okay as well. But it's good. These guys are just okay. Zion's not really doing it for you. Obviously, they lost that really close game to the Spurs in overtime, but we'll see if New Orleans can turn it around. I'm expecting a lot of injuries to come out for them as well at some point, just because they seem to be cursed. And then my other losers, we can talk about Phoenix. I pretty much expected Phoenix to be pretty bad this year. Yeah. So I'm going to say Sacramento. Not because I didn't expect them to be that good. It's just you have this one season, light the beam, yada, yada, yada. And now you have a season with Westbrook, Levine, DeRozan, and Sabonis. And it's like this team, like, you have good players. Like, these are all individually good players. Keegan Murray's a good player, even though he's been out. Malik Monk's a good player. But this team does not fit together. And we saw years of Levine and DeRozan together on the Bulls. And I don't know why the Kings were like, oh, this is a good idea. Let's do this again now that they're older and worse. So it just doesn't make sense. I don't know what the Kings are doing. We're probably going to see a teardown from them at some point, and it'll be back into the rebuilding cycle for Sacramento, unfortunately. But
yeah, it's too bad to see
one good season
like this. I don't really know what they're doing. It seemed like they had their shit together for a bit, and then they've been making bad decision after bad decision. But I want to talk about the Pelicans a little bit, because I think they would have been my third loser. Zion, on paper, his stats look really good, but 27 points, 6 assists, and 9.5 rebounds a game is pretty solid. That's kind of what you want out of your star. Nothing to sneeze at, for sure.
Jordan Poole on the team too, by the way.
Yep. And Jordan Poole he is averaging 20 right now, which is great for him. On a pretty efficient three-point shot as well, which is all you want out of Jordan Poole, really. But I think the real problem is that they struggled to get a lot out of their other guys. Yves Missi has had a really bad start to the season after a great campaign last year. And Herb Jones isn't going to be a guy who scores, but you'd like to see him have a little more offensive impact than just like 9 points a game. Like you kind of want him hovering around like 14. That would be ideal for him, I think. And they're kind of relying on these two rookies to put up more points than I think you can feasibly expect out of these guys.
Or Trey Murphy to take a pretty big lead.
Yeah. But Sadiq Bey has been pretty good for them, which is funny after
another
the Wizards and never playing. Respect. But yeah, don't have a lot to say about them, really. It's kind of, I haven't watched any games. It's kind of too early, I think, to say. But if you're this bad, fully healthy as the Pelicans,
it's not looking good, buddy. It's not looking good. But for the Wizards, again, we kind of talked about probably hovering around the 20-win mark again, and we'll really see the progression start up next year. Next year we should now we should be fighting for that play-in spot type thing, or at least not, if not next year, the year after. The worst case scenario is we go into a nationals type thing where we're gonna have to rebuild off the rebuild. But from what I've seen so far, hopefully that isn't gonna happen. But obviously, time will tell. It does look like we're gonna come out on top against Philly.
Yep.
118-103 with 8 minutes left. Obviously, not over yet. Philly could come back, but good start.
Yes,
for
for
Wizards.
sure.
We could be 2-2, which might be the best. I think they were 2-2.
We were 2-1 last year. We were 2-1.
Yeah. Okay.
So we had a better start. But yeah, just overall, I think my personal goal for the Wizards is lose enough games where you don't lose your draft pick and you're in a position to take a top 3 pick and get one of these amazing rookies. And then next year is really where I'm looking to see, okay, can we turn these potential players and kind of intangible things we've seen into results on the court and wins. And, you know, I'm not expecting to be in the play-in next year, but I would like to at least see some progression and win more games than we won this year, which we have been so far under the rebuild. Every year we've won more games than we have the last, 15-18. So I think, right? Or is it 18-15? I don't remember.
No, 15-18.
Yeah. So step in the right direction. Love to see around 20. But I think that just about covers everything today. Gafford, why don't you take us out?
Yo, what's up? It's your boy DG. I'm gonna keep it short and sweet. Nothing major. We hitting the wizard bed tonight, baby. Let's get it. Gafford out.